Is proper grammar really all that important? We talk about it a lot, but does it matter that much? First, what exactly is grammar? What all does it include? It's the rules a language uses to govern the sounds, words, and sentences it uses, which includes how these are combined and how they're interpreted. So, is it as important as we think? My answer would be yes and no. Yes, it absolutely is important, but no, it's really not all that important, at least in some circumstances. Grammar isn't some sort of truth that can't be questioned, and it changes over time. We don't speak the King's English today. Words become archaic, new words are added, words and phrases even change their definitions, sometimes meaning the opposite of what they once meant. Just as language itself changes with time, the rules of our language change with it. Language and grammar rules are fluid. I love grammar. When I was in seventh grade, I loved the blue grammar workbook we had. If I could, I would have spent all day doing those lessons. But alas, I had to study science and history and math and geography, all of which I absolutely hated. I didn't see the value in the other subjects. But the truth is, grammar rules are not real. Any particular set of rules exists only because we say it exists. But whether I thought so in school or not, subjects like science, history, math, and geography are important. And grammar rules that, yes, we make up, help us to be able to communicate about these subjects. But again, sometimes the rules change. That's why you can't pick up an old grammar handbook and go by it. And that's why we have to keep studying. They put out updated grammar rule books all the time. So while specific rules may be flighty, we need our rules in order to communicate effectively. And communication is super important. As I said, if we want to converse about these other subjects I mentioned, or about our thoughts and feelings and wants and needs regarding anything at all, we need language and we need rules for that language that we can agree upon. When we go to a job interview, we dress nicely. We don't walk in wearing a shirt with cartoon character on it. We don't prop our feet up on the interviewer's desk. We don't snack or sip on a big gulp that we bought at the corner gas station. We also try to use good grammar. We want to present ourselves as intelligent and educated people. But who decides what is educated and intelligent when it comes to the rules of language? Well, the elite, the big shots, the people in power, the grammarians, who have somehow made us believe they know best. They tell us what they think is proper or appropriate, and yes, they change their minds from time to time. That means, of course, and again, that there is no inherent value or goodness or truth in grammar rules. These rules are simply what some people with more power than we have agreed to abide by, and we're left to go along with these rules. But not always. Again, rules of a language are meant to aid us in communicating with one another. And if I say, I ain't went nowhere lately, I am communicating perfectly fine to you because you know what I mean. Sure, I'm saying the opposite of what I mean. I mean I haven't gone anywhere, but I said I have. I said I ain't went nowhere, meaning I have not gone nowhere, meaning I have obviously gone somewhere. I didn't say what I meant, but you knew what I meant. You knew because we talk that way. It's wrong grammatically, but we understand it. I'm a grammar nerd, but he ain't got no sense. Sounds so much better to me than he doesn't have any sense. Why? Because that's how I would have said it growing up. Not that anybody should be saying that about another person, mind you. Think about the word ain't. It's so much less pretentious sounding, at least to my ear, and so much easier to use than some of the proper wording is. I can use it as both a singular and plural verb. I can use it to mean isn't, or aren't, or doesn't, or don't, or hasn't, or haven't. The word is versatile, and its use would make it a lot easier for people who speak English as a second or third language. However, ain't is not standard, they say. But not standard for whom? It's quite standard for many of us. Today, most people understand when we say, I literally died. We didn't literally die, of course. We can also, but we know what that means. We can say, I could care less, and people know we mean I couldn't care less. We can learn somebody to read or reach somebody some taters. Does the word moot mean something is relevant and up for debate, or does it mean it's of no value and irrelevant? People use the word both ways. So we have to know the context because the word is used to mean opposite things. Again, language is for communication. If we decide that hoo-ba-la means I don't care, then hoo-ba-la means I don't care. It's as simple as that. While I said that those in power make decisions about grammar rules, we little peons do have some power. Dictionaries add words as we make them up and use them. They might consider our words non-standard or colloquial, but they present them so that we can all communicate when we hear the words. And in time, sometimes our hoo-ba-la actually comes to mean I don't care. It becomes standard English. I don't know how much influence we can have on the actual rules of grammar, but we certainly can influence the addition and meaning of words. There are groups of people who speak the same language we do, but the rest of us might not always understand. And that's okay. They're communicating just fine with one another. I might have to have captions when watching Downton Abbey or Bridgerton, but the people speaking that foreign English understand one another quite well. And you might go to my hometown, Stanville, Betsy Lane, Harold, Pikeville, Mary Creek, whatever my hometown is, and need captions to understand the language there. You might need captions to understand me. And it's fine that we all pronounce words differently and even use words that others might not use or know. It's also fine if we butcher the grammar rules with one another. But if we want to communicate well with everybody, we have to know the standard tenets of our language. So yes, it's very important to know grammar rules. Or actually, knowing the rules isn't all that important to most of us, but using them is. Sometimes we simply know how to speak in standard English without knowing why. And hey, if you're important enough, you can change the rules. Just be a famous author. And people will look to you and say, see, famous author so-and-so said it was this way. And then everybody says, oh yeah, good. And they use you as a credible source. And the rules change to suit you. Again, there's no inherent goodness or value or honor or nobility or truth in grammar rules. They're simply a tool for communication. And they're good to know so that you're comfortable in any situation. But just because you use what is considered standard grammar on the job doesn't mean you're required to use it at home or among your friends or on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Doesn't even mean it's best to. It's nice to be able to fit in wherever you are. So you do you, boo. In an episode of Justified called Peace of Mind, Boyd Crowder, who loves to use big words and flowery language, says, Mr. Augustine, seeing as how Drew Thompson's already in the marshal's custody, why you're cutting off the tail of my cousin and offering him up is opaque to me. And Nikki Augustine responds, I'm going to need Google Translate on my phone if I'm going to keep talking to you. One day I said to my younger daughter, I come a hair of cutting my hair. She didn't understand what I meant, but my sisters would have. Know your audience, and since your audience sometimes expects you to follow established grammar rules, and if you're in school, your teachers definitely do, yes, proper grammar is all that important. It's been a fortnight since I posted a grammar video, so I shall upload this post-haste. And with this 100th episode of Grammar Grammy, I am done. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you few people who have shown an interest in these videos. It's been fun for me, and I hope you got something out of them. So, May your hoe cake always be crispy on the edges, and your kilt lettuce hot and greasy. Thank you for watching. Bye.